All right, let's get right into it. If you're here, you probably know that a breakup hurts in a way that nothing else really can. It's this deep, constant ache. And everyone tells you to just move on, but what does that even mean? So today, we're gonna walk through the core ideas from this book and lay out a real, practical map for how to actually heal. And this is the central theme we're kicking off with. The whole journey isn't just about getting over a loss, it's about rediscovering you. It's not about trying to erase someone from your past, but about finding the person you were before and, the person you're about to become now.
And that's the real question, right? It sounds nice to talk about remembering yourself, but when it feels like there's a literal hole in your chest and your mind is just a hurricane of memories, where do you even begin? Well, the very first step is to understand the pain itself. Yeah, before you can heal the pain, you've got to understand it. This isn't you being weak or overreacting. The book is so clear about this. The pain you're feeling is valid, it's deeply human, and believe it or not, it's a biological process.
This is such a powerful point. A breakup isn't just missing a person. You're also grieving. You're grieving the shared jokes, the comfortable routines, and maybe the hardest part, that whole future you built together in your mind. Your emotional system is registering a massive loss, and you have to treat it like one.
And here's the wild science to back it up. Brain scans show that the emotional pain of a breakup lights up the exact same parts of your brain as physical pain. So that feeling that your chest actually hurts, it's not in your head. Your brain is literally telling you that you are injured.
Which brings us to the chemistry of it all. This is not just a psychological thing, it is a physiological thing. And understanding this is so important because it proves your struggle isn't a flaw in your character, it's just your biology doing its thing.
Think about it. When you're in love, your brain is just soaking in these feel-good chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. When that person is suddenly gone, your brain goes into withdrawal. Those cravings for one more text, obsessing over old photos, that shaky feeling inside, yeah, that's your brain detoxing from a really powerful chemical bond.
So now that we kind of get the why behind the pain, let's talk about the how. The book lays out a super clear, actionable path to guide you right through the storm. And notice I said through it, not around it.
So here they are, the 4 big steps. Feel, break, rebuild, and release. Each one is a critical part of the process. You'll notice that distract yourself or just pretend you're fine are not on this list. Real healing, according to this, is an active process. You gotta show up for it.
This brings us to what might be the hardest but most crucial part of healing. You just cannot heal a wound that you keep reopening. Every single time you check their social media, every time you reread old messages, you are keeping that chemical dependency alive in your brain.
And this is exactly why reducing or cutting contact is so important. And this isn't about punishing them or being dramatic. The book makes it clear. This is an emotional detox, and it is 100% for you. It's about giving your brain the clean space it needs to reset and heal.
And this is what that detox looks like in the real world. Muting their stories, archiving photos, these actions aren't about trying to erase your history. They are about stop feeding your brain the little hits of the drug it's trying to quit. You're breaking the cycle.
Oof, this one is tough, but it is a total game changer. As long as you're holding on to the hope of maybe someday, you're basically trapped in an emotional waiting room. Healing demands that you accept the reality of right now. The relationship is over.
Okay, so besides the framework, the book points out a few common traps, little potholes that can keep you stuck in that painful loop for way longer than necessary. And knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do.
Ah, the big one. Can you be just friends right after the breakup? I mean, you don't want to lose them completely, so it seems like the mature adult thing to do, right? Well, the book is pretty blunt about this. Trying to be friends too soon is often a form of emotional self-torture. It's not a real friendship. It's just a way to keep that attachment alive, which completely sabotages step 2 of the framework. You need that space first.
And here are a few other ways we tend to trip ourselves up. Waiting for them to come back, getting lost in old memories, jumping into a rebound just to feel something, or blaming yourself for everything. Each one of these is a detour that just keeps you from doing the real work of healing.
All right, let's shift gears, because healing isn't just about what's been lost. It is so much more about what you can now build. This is the part where you stop grieving the past and you start consciously creating your own future.
This is the question to start with. So often in a relationship, our identities kind of merge. The I gets a little lost in the we. Now is the time to ask,
What parts of you have been on the back burner?
This is your new homework. Reconnect with these things. Pick up that guitar again. Sign up for that class. The point isn't to fill the empty space with random distractions. It's to fill it with yourself again.
I love this thought from the book. It's so gentle and reassuring. This rebuilding phase isn't about inventing a whole new person from scratch. It's more like a homecoming. You're just remembering and reclaiming the person you've always been.
So we'll end with this. A breakup feels like the end, and in a way, it is. It's the end of a chapter, but it is absolutely not the end of your story. The most powerful shift you can make is to see this not as a final period, but as a page turn. You are the author, and what comes next is completely up to you.